In this lesson, we'll continue drawing the geometric forms that make up our fire hydrant. Alright, so in the previous lesson we drew another cylinder shape here for this top edge and the base of our fire hydrant. Now, I've gone ahead and copied that original ellipse that we drew for this base cylinder here, and we're going to use that again here. I've got it on its own layer right here, and I'm going to go ahead and take that and we're going to drag it over, and we're going to line it up right in the center of this larger ellipse on this top lip, because we're going to draw the top portion of the fire hydrant next. So with that in place there, let's go ahead and grab our pencil tool, and let's go ahead and just start here by pulling up some vertical lines off the edges of that ellipse. Now this curve that we're about to draw is going to present us with a little more of an opportunity to draw a freeform curve. So now if we look at our fire hydrant, this is actually sort of a dome-shaped piece on the top of the fire hydrant. So let's come back over here and let's go ahead and begin drawing that. Now we ended these vertical lines right here, so I'm going to go ahead and step in one step and we're going to draw another line up. I'm going to do that on both sides here. Now it's real easy when you're drawing these type of stepping, gradually decreasing type curves to let it get a little out of hand. So you may come up here and just sort of draw in a nice stopping point where you want to shoot for. Now I know that line's probably not in the center, but that's just sort of a boundary, a visual boundary for us. So I want to come in here. Let's do one that's about, let's go ahead and do one that's about 4 pixels next. We'll come up and do one that's 3 pixels, then 2. Let's go ahead and do some 1 pixel segments here. And now it's time to go ahead and figure out where the center is. Now looking at sort of this piece right here, it looks like maybe the center's only a pixel or 2 off of this. So I'm going to come in and extend this right side of that line out a couple, and we're going to sort of shoot for that here. In fact, let's come over, let's add 1 more pixel in here, and let's go ahead and draw a 2 pixel segment. Now it looks like we are not quite tapered in enough for this type of piece right here. So I'm going to go ahead and just grab that. Let's move that up for right now. See if maybe we can end it right about there without making this too awkwardly tall. So we'll go ahead and move that up there, and we'll draw another pixel here. Let's go ahead and draw another 2 segment, and then let's go ahead and erase a pixel off that line there, just like so. And there you have the dome of our fire hydrant. So let's go ahead and compare that to the photo, and it looks like we may have gotten it just a little bit tall. So let's come over to our layer stack and let's hide that layer right there. Now if I was going to try and decrease the height of this dome that we just drew just a little bit, I'd probably grab my lasso tool and lasso about to there. And let's go ahead and grab our selection tool and just arrow that down maybe 1 pixel and just kind of take a look at that. We'll deselect that and bring that layer back. I think that fits a little bit better here. That was the longest segment that we drew, and there really wasn't a number associated to that we were intentional about. So we'll go ahead and shorten those 2 segments there. Now, at this point, I want to come in and create another layer mask. And we're going to come in and mask out this line right here. Now, if you're doing more complex artwork than just this simple fire hydrant, then more than likely you would eventually apply these masks and make these permanent changes. But since we're doing a fairly simple object here, I'm going to go ahead and just leave these masks where they're at, so you can hide them at will. Now, if you want to hide a mask, you just need to shift-click on it, and it'll put a little red X through it, hiding that mask. So shift-click it again, and it'll bring that back. So there is the dome of our fire hydrant. Now, there's several more details here that we need to go ahead and draw to make this recognizable as a fire hydrant. And the first thing I'm looking at is probably these little cylinder-shaped pieces right here that come out the sides. Now, if we're drawing it at this exact angle where this particular ellipse was pointed directly at us, then that's going to make drawing these pieces right here actually very simple. So let's come back over to our drawing here, and I tell you what, we can either make a new layer here, or we can just pick one of our existing layers here to draw right on. I want to go ahead and draw it right on the body cylinder, just like so. And I tell you what, let's go ahead and just grab our pencil tool, and we'll begin drawing those into place here. So looking at the original photograph, you can see they're fairly close to this lip right here. And keep in mind that with isometric projection, we're actually elevated just a little bit more above the fire hydrant with our point of view. So I want to come in and let's just go ahead and draw these in right about there. I'm just going to draw some horizontal lines right here, not really paying attention to how long they are necessarily, but what I'm looking at is that they're in the exact same spot on both sides. Now if I zoom out on what I've got here, it looks like maybe those need to be a little bit lower. So let's go ahead and grab our marquee tool, and hold down Shift and select both these two, and then we'll just nudge those down maybe a pixel or two. Just like so. Now, if you think about the original fire hydrant, it's got sort of this line right here that's created where this cylinder is wrapping around the main cylinder of the body of the fire hydrant. So I'm going to come back over here, and we're going to actually create that now. So thinking about how we might go about doing that here, we can start here just by applying 1 pixel right here. Now this line is going to eventually go away, but if we just do a 1 pixel step and do a 1 long segment here, might not create quite the look we're going for. So let's maybe do 3 pixels here, and 3 pixels there, and then we'll come in and draw 1 nice long segment right there. And let's go ahead and grab our eraser tool. We're not erasing that much here, so let's come in and erase away this line right there. And we'll zoom out, and we're getting exactly that slight curvature that we were looking for. So I'm going to go ahead and repeat that over here on the other side. We'll go ahead and draw in 3 pixels and 1 long segment there, and then erase away those extra pixels. Alright, so we've got the basis for this crossbar set. Now at this point, I'd probably come back over here to our photograph reference and take a look here. So there's actually sort of a line right here that divides the main body of the cylinder from this end cap, and then this tapered end and the bolt right here, that tapered end area. So let's come over here now and just sort of start drawing that in. We'll grab our pencil tool again, and now thinking about this, we don't want this just to be a straight line. We want it to maybe show just a little bit of curve, a little bit of curvature here. So I'm going to come in and draw a line sort of like that. I know that's not as much curvature as we had right here, but I think that's okay. Now what I may actually do is actually come in here and erase 1 pixel on the bottom, just to give it a little bit more of a curvature right here along the bottom edge. So we'll grab our pencil tool again, and we'll just bring in a pixel right here and right here. Alright, great. So we've got that first segment of these this crossbar on each side. Now I'm going to come in here and draw another segment. I'm going to come in just like so, and we may actually need to come in and drop a pixel right about there. And if we're going to come and do the same thing on this side, we may actually want to move this joint up 1 additional spot. So something like that. So coming on over here, grabbing our pencil tool, and let's go ahead and put that pixel right back where it was there. And let's go ahead and sort of draw in this next cap piece that's going to go on the end of this crossbar here. So I'm going to come in and draw sort of a stair-step pattern right here. And this is a little more freeform. We're not really doing a symmetrical object, so to speak, at this point. There's a little bit more freedom here as to how we draw this. So if we come up here again and do another stair-step pattern, sort of like so, let's go ahead and close that off there. And actually I may come in here and let's just go ahead and mimic sort of this pattern right here. Sort of like that, and then maybe we could draw another line right there. I'm going to go ahead and taper this line in just a little bit here, just kind of feeling this out. I want to hang the bolt that's on the end of this crossbar right about here, but I don't want it to be centered necessarily on this. I want it to be a little bit higher than the center. So we're going to come in here now, and let's go ahead and plan out that crossbar right here. We'll go ahead and drop in a couple pixels just like so. And I tell you what, to create that bolt that's on the end here, let's just go ahead and draw that out just like so, and we draw 1 little line right there to sort of create that end cap. So you can see here that we're starting to get a little low on pixels as far as detail. If we wanted to come in here and maybe erase away a pixel or two there, it might look a little bit more like a bolt. Now what I'd like to do at this point is I'd like to do this exact same thing to this other side, but I'm not going to take the time to draw that. I think there's a much quicker way to do that. So what we'll do is we'll just go ahead and lasso that up. Let's go ahead and grab our selection tool, make a copy of that, and drag it over. We'll come up here to Edit, Transform, and let's go ahead and flip that horizontal here. So we've got that in place, and we'll just drag that over here, matching that vertical line up right here with the one that we had previously drawn. And we've got the other side of our crossbar. Now, we've got just a few other details here left to complete this fire hydrant. We've got sort of a bolt shape here. We've got a large ellipse shape right here for this this part of the fire hydrant that's facing us. And then there's even a little lip right here. So I tell you what, in the next lesson, we'll pick up where we're leaving off here, and we'll finish doing the line work for our fire hydrant.